the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Don't label us left or right. American. Not looking for a war, but we came to fight. American. Somebody's gotta stand up. Somebody's gotta do what's right. We're rising 'cause we're fed up. Got our house in order and got yours inside. I am American. That's what I am. It's what I think and what I do. I am American. That's what I am. And I bleed red, white, and blue.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. It is, let me see, December 28th, and we're ready to go. I knew when I put that out there. Yeah, the sound comes when I start, Tony. You know, I got to tell you something. I know I've been Republican my whole life. I've never been more embarrassed to be a Republican than today. Now, I don't want to be a Democrat, but let's put it this way. I'm not embarrassed to be a Republican. I'm embarrassed to have some of these jackasses say they're Republican and they're supposedly on our side. It is embarrassing, my friends. It is embarrassing. Oh my God. You know, Dino, I got to tell you something. When I was looking at that bill, and I talked about it last week, I'm looking at that bill, it's like, what kind of real Republican, that's why we started Real Republicans, what kind of real Republican would ever sign on to something like that? I mean, really. And you know, what they do, and this is what people don't understand. People, well, you know, he should have vetoed. I get all that stuff. You know, President Trump finally signed something, but what happens is they put it to, you know, the president wants so much for people to be able to make it through this. He realizes, and this is the problem, this is what I've been trying to teach people for years. When you have so many piece of crap Republicans, and they are working with the Democrats so nicely, you can't blame this on the president. You just can't. And I'm telling you, folks, you know, he's stuck. I mean, he's stuck. And the thing is, you know, they're not going to do what they should be doing, which I will tell you right now, the thing they should be doing without a doubt is they should be working with some kind of agency or whatever to send the checks where they need to go, and that's what they need to do. In other words, you know, if you already have, look, there's people watching this show right now that it hasn't hurt financially, but they're still going to get a check. And look, you shouldn't get one. The only ones that should get anything are the people who are really suffering. The business owners, my God. I can't tell you how many business owners I know that are dying right now. They just don't have, they don't have the money. You know, and the people working for them, you know, they've just, it's been a nightmare for these people. But we allow it to happen, and it's really pretty pathetic. It really is. So, you know, for people to, you know, just write it off and say, well, everybody should get checked. No, I'm sorry. I mean, let me tell you something. You know, I know of a lot of people who are getting pensions and Social Security and all that stuff, and nothing has changed for them whatsoever. And for those people, I say, well, if you think you should get one, then go ahead and give it to the people who are really hurting, the ones that are truly hurting, the ones that have been devastated by this, by government. See, because remember, government is the one that caused this. Yeah, you know, Dino, and I'm going to tell you something. I brought up the other day that, you know, okay, we got this garbage going on that the mask help and all that stuff. I've said from day one, it's a bunch of crap. And you see now people wearing masks. They're having all kinds of problems. They go, well, it's not because you're not wearing your mask right and the rest of it. And no, some people just can't wear them. I'm one of them. And it's not just that. I'm going to go back to my original thought all the time to begin with. They don't do anything. They don't do anything. But we're supposed to go ahead and go along with it because that's what some government official says. You know, my friend Jim is watching right now. He's, hey, you only got a few days left, Jim. and he will tell you right now that most of these people in government who represent you, and I'm talking state reps, congressmen, whatever, are full of crap. They are not there for you. You know, they are not there for you. And the reason I say the Republican Party dead is because I would guarantee you that probably 90% of my friends would say, well, I'm a Republican, but I can't deal with this crap anymore. Because you had, and I got a story here, I can't wait to read it, you got Republicans there going right along with Democrats. I mean, if they might as well call themselves a Democrat because really that's what they are anyway. And for me, I'm sick of it. I am sick to death of these people, and that's it. Well, it is government control, you know, and it's not, you know, it's a mask, it's a muzzle. I mean, really. And I've said, and people that know me, I haven't met you before, Dino, but people that know me know that I've been saying for a long time, if you really are Republican, this is hard for people, and I don't get it. If you really are Republican, then do us all a favor. Stop. I mean, take that stupid mask off. Take that mask off. I mean, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I tell you what, there's a video here I'm going to play, and I'm playing it for a reason because this is someone that's had enough. Oh, you're fine. Look, I want people to be pissed. Look, by the way, we started a group called Real Republicans, and we're hoping to make it nationwide because we are Republicans. We are what the Republican Party is supposed to be, not the jackasses we have today. And we want to force all these people out. We want them out. We want to say, you know what? Yeah, I want to do what Reagan did in a different sort of way. You know, Reagan said, I didn't leave the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party left me. Well, we're kind of doing a little bit roundabout difference, and we're saying we're not leaving the Republican Party. We're becoming we're starting the real Republican Party because you people left us. The so-called today's Republicans are fed up. You know, I talked to one of I invited one of the state reps. I have some really good legitimate state reps I've talked to who are joining real Republicans because they know I'm right about this. They know it. And by the way, you can comment all you want. I love it. They know that I'm right about this, that the Republican Party that they supposedly are with are all about, most of them are a bunch of losers. They're a bunch of sellouts. Enough is enough. Let me see. You seen the meme that CDC is applauding mask use and social distancing because flu cases are down this year. Yeah, who's buying that? I'm not buying that. But the CDC is also blaming us for not wearing masks and social distancing. You know, Tony, here's the question. First of all, it's not the government's job to force people to put a mask on their face. It's not healthy for a lot of us. It's not healthy for most people, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, I'll tell you what. I'm going to play this. This is a woman who has had enough, and I'm playing this for a reason. So watch this. If I press the button right.
Or there's like 36 people with COVID in the ICU. Whenever there's a flu, there's only 2 or 3 patients at a time in the ICU. But literally the entire hospital is COVID patients. This has never happened.
I'm not saying COVID's not real. I'm just saying I'm not sick. I'm not sick, and asymptomatic spread has been shown to be a myth. So why am I going to be treated like a sick person? Do you know that there have been fewer deaths overall in 2019 than there were in 2018? Look it up. Fewer deaths overall. All they've done is recategorize all the deaths. This is not what they're telling us it is. It's a lie. This is a lie, I'm telling you. It's a lie. And everyone's buying it. And it will go on and on and on as long as they feed us this lie and we comply with it. And I'm done. Tonight, I reached a breaking point. I'm done. I know I'm not reaching anyone here.
Everybody's
I
unhappy.
don't care. I'm not putting that on my face. I'm not. I'm not going to. I'm a healthy person. I'm not crazy. It isn't like psychosis for everyone to put all this stuff on their face when they're healthy is insanity. It's absolute insanity. Go ahead. They can't arrest me because there's no law. I'm a healthy person. I don't need to wear a mask.
Yeah, you don't need to be
I would
here.
love to see what happens. Honestly, I'm moving to
I kicked you out a long time ago, and you're refusing after I'm offering you
Epsom
something.
salts and corkscrew. But I'm really curious to see how are they going to arrest me for a law that doesn't exist.
Epsom salts and a corkscrew, and you're willing to risk people's lives.
No, I'm not risking anyone's lives because I'm healthy.
How do we know that you're healthy?
I'm fine. Look at me.
Do you understand that
Asymptomatic
people?
spread is not a thing. They've already shown there is no asymptomatic spread. There's no asymptomatic spread. I don't have symptoms. I'm fine. I'm not a carrier of disease. This is what I'm saying. They're treating us like we're diseased. You just said, how is it treating you like you're diseased? But then you're
Wearing a
telling me how
mask
you
is
know.
not an imposition
It is.
to be careful with other people's
No,
health.
it's not just the mask.
This is
It's
the
social
epicenter
distancing.
of
It's
the
the
country.
lockdowns. It's everything. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done. I'm done.
You're moving tomorrow, right? So you're gonna.
I hope so. I hope someone in here hears me and feels empowered.
There you go. And that just goes to show you, people are getting tired of this crap. I know I am. I've been tired of it for a long time. But, and I got to say something, and as people know that I really applaud women, because women are the ones standing up most of the time lately. I'm trying not all guys, but I see it all the time. Women are standing up, and I'm just so thankful that they are. We need everybody to stand up. We need everybody to do this stuff. That's what we have to do. We got enough is enough. Don't you love it when somebody's got the one woman had a mask on, a face mask plus a shield on. They're hiding from the world. The world is not going to end because you don't have a mask on. In fact, now Dr. Phony Fauci is saying, well, herd immunity really should happen. Well, where the hell you been? Dr. Neely's here, and I'm telling you right now, he's a physician, a real doctor. He's a real physician. He's not a Dr. Biden, by the way. He's a real physician. And I'll never forget when he says, people need to take those masks off and just live normally. Forget the social distancing. We'll get through it. We always have. It's not as big a deal. The virus is real. But you cannot run away from this stuff. Have you noticed that people with the lockdowns, California is the worst, they are destroying lives every single day. Every day. They're destroying lives all over this country, destroying the economy. And what does the left say? And a lot of Republicans, which is embarrassing. Well, let's send them a check. That'll help them through. No, people want to live right. My favorite watering hole is a place called Tequila's. And I invite everybody to go there sometime when we go. But anyway, it's closed right now in St. Louis County. Why? It's closed because the so-called he's got a doctor. He's not a physician. I think he's a anesthesiologist. I don't even know. I don't even care. It doesn't make a difference. My point is that we have so many people that are out of work or they're destroying the business. The gentleman just bought the place a few months ago. And we saw him right before they closed him down. He goes, I just hope I can make it. I saw a deal, and isn't it funny? And I'm going to get into the bombing in a little bit here because I have some totally different feelings about this bombing. This RV. Look, I want to tell you right now. This is a war. There's a bunch of, as you know, a lot of people know, there's millions of people. I'm telling you, millions of people going to D.C. For a big march I think it's going to be the biggest march ever on January 6th. And there's a bunch of us leaving, going there. And I encourage everybody. And you know what? When I see some guy, this is what really pisses me off. When I see some guy say, "Oh, I don't know if that's a good idea because we could get hurt." Oh my God, give that guy a dress. Walk away. In fact, like I said, I see women, I get more calls from women saying, "Let's go, Dave, let's go." They're ready to go. I just wish they were all on PMS to make it worse. Sorry, I couldn't pass it up. But I give them so much credit. But I see so many wussy males out there, and they're saying stuff like that. Well, I don't know if it's a good idea. What happened to us? What happened to the males? They're wusses. I know. Isn't that great, Charles? Charles says, ever since I joined Real Republicans, and by the way, if you are a Real Republican, now I know there's a lot of enemies out there, and they're going to try to infiltrate. And I will tell anybody, and we've been pretty good about it so far, I will tell anybody that if you see somebody in the group that you know is a troll, and they're going to make it there eventually, first off, if you allow somebody to come in, make sure you know who they are. Make sure. I mean, guarantee. Because it's not that we're not going to get trolls, and we'll get them out of there. But if you see a troll, let us know, and we'll get rid of them. Because it's not we're not going to keep everybody out, but we're certainly going to keep it a minimal. And if you can't handle, I'll tell you what, just like my show, if you can't handle the truth, then you may not be the person to be on there. Because, the wuss society, I'm telling you guys, I'm embarrassed when I look at these males, and it's been males. One guy, though, honestly said, I'm a little concerned about going there. But when I see the women go, "Let's go, Dave, let's go." I don't even think about fear. I guess maybe because of where I grew up, I don't know. Yes, aren't you in it? I thought you were, Tony. Tell you what, I will add you as we speak. How's that? I thought you were. Look, I'll be honest with you. I've done my best to add a lot of people, but I'll add you right now since I got it right here. I'll add you right now. And I know you're a Real Republican, but we're trying to make this a Real Republican group. And the whole idea of this is to eventually, you're already invited. You already been invited. I thought so. So if you go look at your invitations, you'll see that you've already been invited. There you go. But if you guys go there, I'm telling you right now, you're going to find out that there's a lot of like people there. And we don't need any wusses. I'm telling you what, if you're going to be a wuss, you need to go to the Democrat Party or the current establishment wuss Republican Party. Because the current Republican Party, as we know it, has just turned to mush. It's nothing. I had there's a guy, I'm sick to death of these people. By the way, we plan on getting there on Tuesday because I as much as I don't even want to wear a mask, I will do it to go in there to let all these Republicans I can find in there, let them know that you are history. This is your last term. Unless you get off your dead asses and you support our president and us. This is not just about the president. This is all of us. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this this bombing. Now, isn't it interesting? This is why, of course. Okay, just so you know, as soon as I say this, I'm going to be called a conspiracy theorist because it doesn't go with the words of what everybody's going to tell you. The government's going to tell you something different because they don't want you to know. So you can call me conspiracy theorist or whatever. Isn't it just amazing? Amazing that the Dominion voting machines were sent to Nashville, and I'll be damned. Well, I'll add you for sure. And I'll be damned if it's not on purpose, believe me. I'll be damned if the bomb wasn't right there where the machines were. Do I think it's on patriots with backbone to actually fight for our freedom? You know what? I think it's getting. You know what I think a lot of it is? I think a lot of it, and I'm inviting you right now, Larry. I think a lot of it, honestly, is that people don't know where to go. When I was working the polls, the one thing I heard, okay, Larry, you're invited. There you go. And anybody else that wants to be invited, let me know. But at the polls, the one thing I heard from so many people is they didn't know where to go. Now, that goes back to what I've been saying for a long time. I was a member of the Republican Central Committee. I was elected. And I can tell you right now, virtually every Republican Central Committee is a joke, is a complete joke. Now, why do I say that? Because what they do is the establishment runs them, the losers we have up in D.C. and the rest of it, and they just want to have control of the areas and make sure that they keep the right people in their group. By the way, we aren't one of them. When Doc and some of these other people got elected, I guarantee you it's because they were in an area. If you're in a metro area like we are, it's really difficult to get elected because we have so many people out there. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, I think the arrogance of metro people, I should say metro, not city. Well, it's both. First off, the city, metro people, whatever, in the metropolitan areas, the arrogance is unbelievable. They just think they're so much smarter than that yeehaw out in the boonies. By the way, we're in Jefferson County, and we are, even though we're really part of the metro area, we're considered the boonies. And there's a lot of nice homes here and a lot of stuff. But bottom line is we're considered the boonies. And these people in the metro area, and make no mistake about it, we have plenty of wussified, no backbone Republicans who make excuses for their Republican. Every single one of them. Well, they're lazy as hell. They don't even bother to double check to see who these people really are. Drives me up a wall. It's like, well, he's got an R next to their name. I don't even care about the letter. I care about the letter only for the fact that's the first step. If you just look at a name with a letter next to it and you go, oh, they're Republican, and that's as far as you went, you need to stay with the establishment that is screwing you royally because that's exactly what you're doing. Look, I will tell you right now, the hierarchy of the Republican Party absolutely does not like what we're doing. They think we're out of touch. We don't get it. But let me tell you where I am going with this. And this is why we started it. We have, and by the way, I want to congratulate everybody that's going to D.C. There's more and more people. I got a call last night. Hey, how can I get on the bus? Some people are driving. And by the way, then we get somebody that says, well, you shouldn't drive there because you don't know what to do when you get there. I lived there for 12 years. It's like, you know what? You need to be with the establishment or something like that. I am sick to death of it. I think we're all adults here, and we can learn from each other. There's some of us that have. I think we're all fine. I'm sick to death of other people being so much smarter than we are. How can we make the DOJ bring charges? You know what? One of the ways is by going to D.C. And the pressure actually comes from our congressmen and senators, which they're not doing a damn thing. They're not doing a thing. I want to get back to the bombing. Do you think it's just a coincidence that the RV, we're not even sure yet of all that stuff, what's going on. They're still working. I think they're still trying to put the story together. Don't you think it's very odd? They actually had a recording telling people that there was a bomb going to go off in 15 minutes. Yeah. And it was close enough to the Dominion machines, which are the machines under question. Hard to inspect something. Reminds me of something from 9/11, by the way. Hard to inspect something that's blown up. It's a distraction. There's other stuff going on here. Make no mistake about it. The deep state, honest to God, the deep state are most people are. Tony, I'll tell you a little story about that. the deep state is so involved. The last person they want is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a brilliant man in my estimation. And Donald Trump said, I want you people here. And, oh, we're a cult. No, we're a bunch of loving, caring, patriotic Americans. And I think a lot of males need to grow a couple, put it honestly. By the way, Tony, when I was doing radio in Springfield, Missouri, I made this comment on the air, which got a lot of attention. And it was, I was irritated with some things, which I tend to do sometimes. And I said, do you know why there's so many churches in Springfield? Because there's a lot of churches in Springfield. And I said, do you know why there's so many churches? In fact, there's so many churches in Springfield. If you're from St. Louis area, and for those of you people aren't, you won't understand this. The most common question, it's not as common as it used to be, but the most common question is, what high school did you go to? Now, that was mainly so you understood the area people grew up in and all that stuff. But in Springfield, Missouri, it's what church do you go to? Oh, yes. But, okay, so my comment on the air was, do you know why there's so many churches in Springfield? Because there's so many hypocrites here, they got to go somewhere. And that's exactly how I felt, and that's how I feel about religion itself. I'm not a religion fan. So, and I get grief. I really don't care. But that's where I am with it. I just want to throw that out there. So anyway. All right, back to the show. We have, where's this jerk? There's a jerk out there. I've been getting, let me see. Didn't see a couple things that people added on here. There's a jerk congressman here. Oh, boy. Well, it looks like they took it off. They don't want it. They don't want us to show these things. There's a jerk. I'll find him somewhere. There's a jerk congressman that is from Illinois, and I'll find a second here. From Illinois is telling everybody, you need to just telling Trump, you need to drop it. This is over. We're done. That's exactly what he's saying. And I would, when I find it again here, I want to visit this guy and say, I'm not a constituent, but we've started a group to make sure this is your last time here. Because we want real Republicans. We don't need you wussified losers who act like, use the Republican Party as your vehicle to get where you want to be. These people think they're in hog heaven right now because they hey, Tony, you only get the truth here. Anyway, I'm sorry. I think Tony liked that. Okay. All right. I want to find it because I'll tell you what, I was livid when I read this. It's like, what kind of, these are the jerks we have in the Republican Party. And look at Mitch McConnell. Look, most of these people really don't give a damn. The only ones that really we have to really go after, the ones that have been there for a while, forget. From what I understand, in Missouri, Roy Blunt is retiring. He already knows, I guarantee you, the only reason he got elected last time was not because he was popular. The only reason he got elected last time is because Donald Trump pulled him through. Roy Blunt is up in 2 years. And it's really interesting because in 2016, as much as it killed me, since we didn't do our job in the primary, because the primaries are everything, since we didn't do our job in the primaries, I had to endorse Donald Trump. That was the hardest thing I've ever done. I'm not Donald Trump. Roy Blunt. See, I've told people this, by the way. When you're doing a show, it's real easy. It's real easy to make mistakes on the air, but I do my best to correct them. So if you hear something that doesn't sound right, say something. Trust me, there are a group assembling all over the country to take our country back. Let me see. So many people. Okay. The problem is, okay, look, I'm going to go back to why we started a group, and we did it for many reasons. Number one, we know the Republican Party as it stands today, is dead. And by the way, if President Trump said, screw the Republican Party, we're going to start a new party, we have no problem going there. I guess because we're cult members, whatever. I'll leave that up. For the lefties out there, you can think that all you want. It's amazing. Here they are allowing Antifa and BLM to tear a nation apart, and they think we're the losers. When we go, by the way, when we go to D.C., we're not going to be the ones causing problems. We're not at all. We're not at all. But, this, back to the Republican Party, why it's dead. The current Republican Party has allowed our schools to be taken over by liberals. The liberals own the education system. I call the indoctrination system. They own it. Why? Because we've allowed it. When does the Republican Party ever get involved in any of these elections? Wouldn't you think our children are important? There's no encouragement. We are encouraging everybody. Well, thank you, Tony. We are encouraging everybody to get involved. I mean, look, and I'll tell you right now, I am a really nice person, but I do have a tendency to take the whip out and crack it. And this is why. Because we don't need 1 million members in real Republicans, and we'll get there, but we don't need a real Republicans. We don't need 1 million of them, and only 500 or 1,000 are actually doing things. As my friend Keith said, he goes, usually what happens when you get a group, 10% do all the work and 90% just go along. They want to play Facebook. They just want to just go along. No, we need, I want those people that are complaining. I got to tell you the truth. One of my biggest pet peeves, this is why I'm not very sharp with some people, is when they start telling me how and when I need to do things. Now, I'm open to suggestion, but nothing I like more than somebody who I know sits back on their butt and stands around and points fingers and say, you need to do this, you need to do that, and they aren't doing a thing. I have a very short fuse when it comes to that. I'll be the first to tell you. Oh, Lindsey Graham is a joke. But this goes back. In the primaries, this is the one thing this is why we are organizing. In the primaries, and the Republican establishment knows this. I've been doing this too long. I feel like Dr. Phil here. The Republican establishment knows that they have their guy and that all these other people that are running don't have a fighting chance. We're going to change that. We are going to change it. Yeah, exactly right. It's for a reason. It's just not to say, we don't give out badges. Here you go. Yes, let's give out badges. Let's give out a badge to somebody that says, I'm running for school board. I'm running for state rep. I'm running for local government. I'm running for this. I'm running for that. Then you deserve a badge. You know what? I love doing this show for one reason. I come up with more ideas I know what to do with. But if you want to earn a badge, shirt, whatever, you have to earn it. I don't like political welfare. And for those of you new people that don't know what political welfare is, we always talk about welfare. Now, most of you people know, you're regular listeners. People say, well, those welfare people, they sit around and we have to work our butts off and we do we're doing all the work and they're enjoying our work. They're enjoying all the stuff we're doing. They get checks, they get whatever. It's no different in politics. When you are telling me that you want to be part of a movement, but you want to sit on your happy ass and you don't want to do anything, and you think you're really helping by telling, singing to the choir, hey, guess what? At least do something. If you're sitting here, I get more excuses, and people know how I feel about excuses from people say, well, I have this problem. There's always something you could do. Well, you know what? We're going to have somebody in the Senate and the House. That's going to happen. I really believe as time goes on, there are going to be people there. And let me tell you something else, because people are going, it's not going to do any good for you to go there. You know who those people are? The reason they're the lazy asses who just sit back and say, I don't want to do anything. Leave their happy asses back in St. Louis or wherever they're from. I know some people have to work. I can't tell you how many people have told me, I wish I could go. Those are the people I want to see. And when we go there, we're all a group. We're all in sync. I've done my share of rallies and protests and stuff like that. I'm the one doing one or two things. I'm the one with a bullhorn in my hand, or I'm the one with my phone in my hand doing Facebook Live. If you look for me, you'll see me usually that way. I like that. I like that. Here's our mission. We'd rather die on our feet than live on our knees. Man, is that right? That's a great one. I like that. Yeah, we got to make... I like that one a lot. Because, I'm not very good. I'm not very good kissing tail. I'm just not good at it all. I'm like I said, the Republican Party and it... Oh, John Hancock and Jim's favorite person, Gene Evans, and I'm being sarcastic there. These phony Republicans, and that's what they are. The establishment Republicans are phony. I've had to go through a bunch of stuff. People going, we need to call ourselves the Patriots and all this stuff, and I'm like, no, we're calling ourselves the real Republicans because that's exactly what we are. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. Look, and you know what? The kudos I want, and I get them. And if anybody knows me, I'm appreciative. I'm really appreciative. But but I know Tony shows up and does things. But there's so many people out there that I want to see them there. I want to see them saying, "What can I do?" When there's a school board election up, and we've got it posted on Real Republicans. I apologize. I haven't done anything with the site for about a week. Just been busy. But and I'm still looking for somebody to do the site or other ideas. If you got ideas, let me know. I'm more than happy to put them on there. I know there's always something we need to do, and it's realrepublicans.net in case you're looking. Realrepublicans.net. There's one there that tells you about different counties, and let me tell you something. As time goes on, you're gonna there's more and more people gonna be involved here. Believe me. So, if you, and this is one way of doing it, if you're listening right now, and I guess I need to put this on Real Republicans, but if you're part of this and you have an election come up, send it to me. I'll put it up there. And as time goes on, we'll have a much sleeker way of doing it. Right now, we'll do it the best way I know how. But, let us know. We'll put it on there. Then you can, if somebody wants to know, you could say, if you really want to know the information, just go to realrepublicans.net. I want that to be the most visited site on the planet. I really do. Protest, big deal. One day, everybody. Exactly. Dino, that's exactly it. Big deal. One day, everybody's excited. Then they go home and sit on their couch and do that. You've been watching my show. Assemble a group, a couple hundred, take off your... let me tell you what we have done here that you're not familiar with probably. In Jefferson County, we have a strong group here of people that show up. That show up, and slowly they're getting involved. But the reason, and I've learned this, the reason that they really and truly don't want... that they don't get involved because they really and truly don't know where to go, what to do. And we want to change that. Look, the Republican Party has never been one to advise people, hey, if you want to get involved, this is what you need to do. When I was on the Central Committee, I was hoping they would send a mailer out and say, if you want to be involved with the Republican Party, this is what you do. Are you kidding me? They may find out who we are. If they find out who we are, then we won't be as popular. We've got our group. For those of you that are familiar with this, almost every county has a group of people that run the Central Committee, and they're all establishment. No, I shouldn't say all. Mostly establishment. Not everyone, but most of them. Well, and Dino, invite them to Real Republicans because we want to be. I mean, there has to be something there, and you're more than welcome to invite them there, and just let them know that when they come there, the goal is to get involved, not just sit back like you said. I mean, you know what? Here's the difference, and I'm not knocking other people, but I will. So many of these other people who do what I do, they say, let's have a rally. And so what do? They have speakers. And the speakers are there, and they get up there, and they pound the podium, and they go, this is what we do. That's what we do. And you can vote for me or whatever. You can do all this stuff. And then when the rally's over, they all go home. That drives me up a wall. And I don't even like to go to those rallies. In fact, you know the biggest reason why I'm not invited to speak at most of the rallies? Because I actually look at the people and say, you got to get off your asses and do something. It's all of us that has to do something. It's not just these 5 speakers, and half the time the speakers are just there to be popular. Believe me, I mean, that's how it works. And I'm happy to see other people that are doing this finally get it. But I am not a star. I am just somebody doing the job somebody's got to do. But of course, one of my other pet peeves is somebody look at me saying, "Why don't you run for this? Why don't you run for that?" Hey, I'm doing what I think I need to do. We need other people. Don't be telling me what I need to do. Why don't you? People should be looking themselves in the mirror and say, "What can I do?" And I hope all these people. I know some of the people on the bus trip are watching right now. I hope every one of you are turning around saying, you know what? We got to take our country back, and we can't do it by going there and holding our flag up. I mean, it's nice to do, and I'm glad people are doing it. But you have to stop. Well, yeah, I'm too radical too. They just don't like the fact that I tell people, when I did the Jefferson City rally, one of the questions I asked everybody that got me the biggest amount of quiet was, do you know who your state rep is? You know how many people were embarrassed? Because they had no idea. They had no idea who the state rep was. Well, that's right. People, and now you know why I do what I do. The people would stand back and just do nothing. I mean, it's like they go to the rally and they go home and they go, here, let's go there. We're excited. You get to the rally and you go, who's speaking? Oh, he's really good speaking. Yeah, really good. Okay. And so you listen to everybody and finally you say, okay, we're leaving. Do any of the speakers, I mean, every once in a while I'm sure there's one, but do any of the speakers really get there and actually do something? Say, hey, who's going to get involved? Hardly anybody does. Who's going to get out there and do something? People travel 1, 2, 3 hours to go somewhere. In this case, 10 hours. Well, 12 hours from St. Louis. There's people going across the country. I'll do a little Jeff Foxway. If you can drive to a rally for 2 hours, then you can get your happy ass involved. How's that? Okay, thanks, Dino. I know my state. You know who your state rep and congressman is. You know what? Most people don't. But that was the one thing, Dino, that was really interesting because it was a hush. And how in the world are you going to keep people accountable when you don't even know who the people representing you? Now, some people say, well, it doesn't matter who my state rep is. I don't have to know who they are. Really? Did they vote for mail-in voting? My friend Jim Neely didn't vote for mail-in voting. And I've already told every stupid, and I'm sorry, every stupid representative, and a couple of them surprised me. But to me, they were either being lazy or stupid, one of the two. Why you would open the door from voter fraud is unbelievable. But thank you. And Dino, I'm glad you're involved and I'm glad you watch the show. look, as people know, we have to change what we're doing, and like I said, you may not like my attitude sometimes. You know, I had one of my friends call yesterday. Not going to mention names or anything like that, and they weren't happy about something I did in a meeting. And it's nothing against them. It's like, hey, I got a meeting to run. I'm not here to play games. I'm not here. I can't read people's minds, and frankly, we got to get through the meeting. And the one thing, they were very nice, and they said, you know, I just want to apologize and the whole thing. You know, people get involved. They want to be heard, but you know, we have to be fair about it. But I also know these people actually do things too. But when, you know, what's really amazing, how many of you people, you know, and really, I want to just be honest about this. How many of you people now have ever been to a county council meeting or a city alderman or council meeting, whatever it is? How many have ever been there? How many of you people have ever been to a school board meeting? It's shameful. And I understand why. But we are going to do that. What I think real Republicans should do, everybody can do something, pretty much. If you could sit, you know, if you are not able to run for office, let me just give you an idea of the kind of things you could do. If you are not able to run for office, there's, in your district, there are school board meetings. Find out when they're happening, and we're going to get to the point, we'll have it out there. Go to them and come back and report. You know the best way to get really pissed off and get involved? It's just show up at a meeting. Show up at a meeting and listen to it. Well, we are going to raise money. In fact, we have a treasurer. By the way, the elected members, I want to make sure we put this out there right now. And this is how we're going to do this so people understand. Right now, we just have one group. We're getting together that for some dumb reason they elected me president. But my friend Linda Vandervee is vice president. Connie Combs is treasurer, and Keith Missy is the secretary. Now, as time goes on, we're going to have more and more chapters in each county. That's how we want to have it. You got to start here. Keith has been unreal. I mean, he's just into it. So many of the people have been really great. But we have to get this started. You get it started, starts out slow, and that's it. The board had, well, you're right. The board made their mind. See, that's just it, though. The boards have their mind made up. But you know why? Because they're not afraid. They are not afraid because what they know is something that's fact. I just said a minute ago when I just said, how many of you people at the rally, how many people know who your state rep is? By the way, I have never heard that at a rally before. Have you? How many people know who your Congress? You know how many people don't know? And today, there's no excuse. Today, you can go on. We actually, I think I put the link up there on the website. If I didn't, I need to put it on there. There's so many websites you can go to, and all you do is you type in your address, and it tells you most of your elected representatives. Now, it may not have the local ones as much. Maybe we can fix some of that. But the point is they have it. There's no excuse not to. It is. And if you don't even know, I hope people are going to Google. When they're done, they're going to say, who's my rep? Who is my rep? And they will tell you all. They'll tell you who they are. And then you can at least address them. How many people have never called your rep? Phone's no big deal. Call them. Written them, whatever. I know people that call and write all the time. But let me tell you something. I'm going to have my friend, by the way, tomorrow's show, I'm going to have my friend Paul Kurtman on. Paul Kurtman, and I need to have Jim Neely back on too, and I've got some other new ones we're going to have on. But Paul Kurtman is a former state representative. I'll give you a little history about Paul. I probably told some of you people already know it. He was a Tea Party leader. Well, a Tea Party speaker. I was a leader because I hosted the Tea Parties in Springfield, Missouri at the time when I lived there. I live in the St. Louis area right now. And when I was there, we did that. And I went to the Branson Tea Party when they had one there. And Paul he's a Marine. Well, he's out of the Marines now. They're never out. But anyway, he was a Marine. He got up there and he was the last speaker. He should have been the feature speaker because the guy, I had tears in my eyes. And as you know, I apologize for the last show, but things get me. I know someone says, you big softy. Well, I am in some ways, no doubt about it. It's funny how you can be fearless and have a big heart and be a softy. So anyway, I met him that way. I invited him on my radio show. He was a regular on my radio show. He was on many times. When I got upset with the stations, I quit radio. Actually, I didn't quit it. I was forced out. And as time went on, we ended up, I did online radio, and then now I'm here. But in the meantime, Paul said, I'm going to do something, because he's a doer. And he spent 8 years in the Missouri legislature. And I want to, tomorrow, if you listen, you'll hear some of the great things he's done. That I know he misses it. He's on his fourth. Jim, did you know he's on his fourth child? Yes, that gentleman. He's raising a kid. I know he's not Mormon. You remember when it used to be Catholic? Yeah, I got some friends in Branson, and I think one of them. What's he got? 16 kids. He only got 14 or something like that. They're Mormons. Anyway. Council persons work in small groups under 5 in Arnold. Well, but they can still, and you know what? I want to get to that. That's a good one. We did many rooster, and you're right. Paul Kurtman is one of a few, and we need more like him. And by the way, I'm not going to go into the story. He ran for auditor 2 years ago. And he lost. And I was so disappointed to hear the people involved that made sure he lost. People that I thought were real Republicans that I question highly. I'm not going to get into that right now. I've already explained that. But it was so disappointing. People that I respected. And they were just mad. They let their emotions kick in. And this is why I tell people, never let your emotions run your life. When you let emotions run your life, you cause more harm than good. There's nothing wrong with passion. God knows many of us have it. But when you let emotions make your decisions, you're going to have a lot of failings. You really will. And actually, this is why I wonder about some of these males. I don't call them men. I call them males. I really do. They don't have any guts. They don't have any balls, put it bluntly. They need to grow a couple. And you saw the woman in the video I played a minute ago. She stood up. Most of the guys go, oh, just put the damn mask on and shut up. I want to slap them. I know they're not going to slap back. They don't have anything. They don't have any guts. They don't have what it takes. I mean, really, that's what's happened to our society. But, that's another thing we'll do in the Republican Party. We don't want just males. We want men in this party. Now, men doesn't mean someone that beats the hell out of your wife. Men doesn't mean someone that thinks they're a hard ass. Men isn't somebody that thinks their gun lives the world. I mean, I'm a gun guy, but that's not what it's all about. That's what it has to be. So, it's about being strong. I'm just watching, the feminization of males, and it's scary as hell. And the ones that actually think they're tough really aren't. They walk away with their tail between their legs like a bunch of sissies. I'll say sissies, not girls, because the girls are the ones showing up. I told you when we did a protest last month in front of the Channel 4 building, it was the women that got out. And the only other guy that got out besides me was the guy that had MS. He and his wife are awesome people. But he got out. He could hardly walk and the whole thing. I got to tell you something. My friend Suzanne is awesome. I love her to death. Her and her husband, they're great. and she was so upset because she wants to go to Washington D.C. Now, just so you know, we're leaving. If you're driving, yes, there are things you can learn, and if you are going, please contact me so we can be we can be kind of together as a group. It'd be awesome because I am so proud of the people that are calling me and contacting me, and I got to ask Chuck if the bus is full. I don't know. Maybe I'll take a break in a minute here and ask him, but if the bus is full. But if it isn't full, then be part of it. Be someone that says, hey, we'll drive there. I know the bus, just so people know. I know the bus, for instance, they're not going to spend the night. It's going to be a long 3 days. It's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and you get home Thursday. That's what it amounts to. But from what I spoke to the gentleman yesterday, and he says, this bus is a very comfortable bus. It has a recliner, and you could sleep on the way back. So it's not bad. It's not bad at all. And actually, in some ways, if we weren't going somewhere, I wish we could take the bus. I want to get back to Paul Curtman again. I know Paul Curtman. Paul Curtman is probably one of the most dedicated, honest young men I've ever met in my life. He really is. He is the kind of person we want leading our country. But you know what happened? The Republican Party didn't want him. Oh, no. They made sure they ran people against him. That's where we come in. Oh, in regards to what you're talking about, Larry, I will get a hold of Connie. And Connie, if you're listening, let me know what the news is, because we're going to have a FundMe. Now, this is a FundMe where you can give amounts as you want, or as I'm going to do, not because I'm in charge, nothing to do with that. I actually have an account, and my account is, everything is going there now. But I have an account, I call it my political account. And I would have so much money every month go towards that account. So when it came up to an election, that's why we're changing this. When it came up to election, that money, I'll get to that in a second here, that money would go towards the political candidates I wanted to get elected. Well, I'm taking that, and I'm going to have that money every month automatically going to real Republicans and making sure that we have the money we need to help the candidates. And if we have 1 million people, let me tell you something. This is why it's so important. If you have 1 million people, and 1 million people are giving $10 a month, that's nothing. That is $10 million. Do you know the difference we can make with that? When you give your money to a candidate, you have no idea what's going to happen. But when you give it to an organization like ours, we're going to do our very best to make sure that we're out there, that we have the right people running the different areas there. By the way, open carry, if you're going to D.C., you have to have a D.C. Concealed carry. That's what I understand to be. And also if you bring in your vehicle, you have to separate. Look, I used to be a cop. Most cops aren't going to worry about it too much, but you always get some loser that is wants to get to the next level. Yeah, there are some bad cops out there, but you're supposed to separate the magazine or the ammo, whatever. Depends if you have a revolver, from the gun. So if you do that, just let you know. I will come up with more. And just so you know the schedule we're going to have here, I'll have a show today. Well, I got a show going on now. I'll have a show tomorrow. I have a show Wednesday. I will probably do one Saturday or Sunday, and then I'll do one next Monday. And then after that, I'm done for a time. So there you go. Open carry just may. You know what's funny? Because I'm with you. Look, Carl is in case you're wondering, Carl here, who's on the board here, is a gun guy. He knows the gun laws, the whole thing. He owned a gun shop. He was a sniper. He's a bad dude. He's a nice guy. He's a bad dude, but he did that, and he knows the gun laws, and he will tell you what's good. Though there's a gentleman who I like a lot who's in prison. He's a political prisoner, and his name's Jeffrey Winehouse, and he was open carry when he got shot by the highway patrol. Now, that was not because he was open carry. It just gave them an excuse to do it. So you never give someone an excuse to shoot you. Like I said, that means you're the first target. Because if I'm the enemy, this isn't hard to figure out. If I'm the enemy, I don't know who's carrying unless it's outside, unless I happen to see something. I mean, there are ways of seeing it, but it's not easy. And people who carry, who know how to carry, they know how to carry without you seeing it. That's the whole point of concealed carry. But if you open carry and I'm the enemy, I just know where I'm going first, and you're it. And so it's like having a target on your back. So open carry. Somebody, I can open carry. Those are. Hey, Carl, you'll like this one. Those are the ones that want to brag to you how much of a man they are. No, that doesn't make you a man. It really doesn't. Acting like you are, that you can shoot everything, whatever, that doesn't make you a man. I don't even think people understand what it is anymore. I really don't. You know what men are? I mean, when I grew up, not from my family. I didn't get it from my family because they were a bunch of losers. But I learned from Dad Stuckey. Dad Stuckey is my mentor. A man is a person that stands up. And even though they may be in fear, they don't show it, and they stand up. They stand up for their community, they stand up for their family, and they stand up for their country. We don't have that anymore. We have a few. You know what, Larry? You're from Springfield. I see that now. Let me tell you what goes on. In Springfield, Missouri, I lived there for 9 years. In Springfield, Missouri, most people think of Springfield, Missouri as a conservative area. They have one of the most liberal county councils on the planet. Are you still under a mask mandate? They have closed down businesses. I mean, they have destroyed the economy in so much of the country. The liberals have destroyed the economy. And that's the problem. So what happens? And this is another thing too. In these cities, they say they're nonpartisan elections. Nonpartisan means we're not going to tell you who we are. We're not going to tell you our base. All we're going to tell you is my name is Joe Blow, and you need to vote for me because I'm giving you free trash, and that's what people look at. And by the way, if you are a voter, which I hope everybody watching the show is a voter, and you're going to your state rep and you're saying, so what are you going to give me? I want to go back to the quote of a Democrat. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you could do for your country. Yeah, Democrats said that. Now, would he make it as a Democrat today? I doubt it. I doubt it. In fact, you know what? He wouldn't even qualify as a establishment Republican. Because he's too damn conservative. John F. Kennedy was too conservative. Now, I know some people disagree with that, but compared to what they are today, when you've got these losers out there, that say they're Republicans and they're telling Trump to shut up and just get rid of it. By the way, I want to go to this bill a little bit because I haven't talked about this. Well, you're right, and I'll get that in a second. This bill, the first bill was we're going to give Americans $600. Now we talked about this last week too, but we're going to give all this money to these local pork projects, which had nothing to do with building anything, and we're going to give all kinds of money to other countries. And one of them, I think it was Pakistan, for gender studies. I mean, this is the bullshit that they want to spend your money on. And so, all but 7, was it 7 senators voted for this silliness. And here in Missouri, we already knew Roy Blunt was a loser. We were holding out, hoping that Josh Hawley was. He's been on TV a lot, spreading his goods, and that's how it works usually. But when the rubber hits the road, guess what? He voted for this stupidity. Well, I wanted people to get that $600. Wow. And you also wanted this. No, they should have voted against it. They voted for it. The president said, no, I'm not going to sign it. He was actually muscled into this. He has no choice. People think he can. It's really difficult because you got a lot of people out there just saying, Prez, we need a lot of help right now because the Democrats have ruined it. The Democrats, look, let's face it. The Democrats right now are controlling most everything. You know who they're controlling most? The majority of people. You're going, what? That's not true. They're not doing it to us. When you go into Walmart, when you go into non-mask areas, this is get back to what you were saying. Jeffco and St. Charles are making out big because of mask mandates. In St. Louis City and St. Louis County, St. Louis County is getting devastated. Those businesses are being trashed beyond belief. St. Louis City is not doing bad. They're going, hey, that's great. So the St. Louis County people, and there's more people there is in St. Louis City, are going out to St. Louis County, or they're going out to Jefferson County. Now, in Jefferson County, the media, this shows you how much the media lies every day. The media is telling everybody that Jefferson County has a mask mandate, and that's not true. So if you heard that, it's a bold-faced lie, which is what they do. And by the way, I want to get to this real quick. I am watching, let me see, let's do KMOV. I am watching some of these media outlets and the bullshit that they are posting. It is really disgusting because they are as anti-Trump as you'll ever see. Let me see here. So, oh, by the way, I did say earlier though that I don't believe for 1 second the stories we're going to hear out of government. Let's put it that way. Look, in most governments, most of the people in charge are sellouts. They're absolutely sellouts. So they don't really care. They're going to do whatever they have to because they're doing quite well. Oh boy, where is it here? I'm looking here and I'm not finding. We'll find it here because they've gone through this between all of them. Whether to take them down so they don't. It really makes me want. Let me see. Get back here a little bit because what I'm looking for, in case you're wondering, I gotta take a break in a second here. Maybe I'll take a break while I'm looking for this. Let me see here. Yeah, it's really interesting. They have these. They've been doing it for a while. They've been putting out these pages, and they're all anti-Trump, all of them. They put it out there. And then now it's really difficult. And by the way, wouldn't it be nice? And I tell all the media outlets, I get on there and people go, why are you going there? It's like, because I'm telling everybody, I want Channel 4, 5, and 2 in St. Louis and the St. Louis Post-Dispatch to understand that they are not journalists anymore. And I want the people to see this. And I do want to fight a little bit of it. Here you go. Here's one of their headlines. Millions of jobless workers are set to lose their unemployment benefits after President Trump refused to sign an end-of-year COVID-19 relief package. You think that's a biased headline? It's disgusting. Now, Beyonce will offer $5,000 grants to help people facing foreclosures or evictions. That's great. But you know what happens in that? You get the anti-Trumpers going, well, see, Trump, that's because people like Trump aren't doing anything. People have become so politically stupid, it's not even funny. Okay, naive. No, they're stupid. I'm sorry. As you know, I call it the way it is. But these are the kind of headlines that they're coming out with. You know, it's really interesting because, and the COVID. The COVID is another one. Every time there's a quote-unquote COVID death, they come out with it. I mean, you know, you could be in a nursing home and there's 3 people died of COVID. Do they do journalism? Hell no, they don't do journalism. Because do they go ahead and tell you that one person had pulmonary, the other person had this and that? They died because they were ready. They had one foot in the grave already? Hey, they got COVID. Everybody gets COVID. That's why I said, why not just let everybody get it, be done with it? Why are people afraid of COVID? Here's what. This is what the government doesn't want more than anything. They don't want you to be prepared. They don't want you to be ready. They want you to go to them for everything. Now, if you are someone that's paying attention, there's certain vitamins you take. In fact, Dr. Naputi, friend of mine, had some graphs, and he showed all the different countries where COVID went up and then COVID went down. And in the winter months, when people were inside, they weren't getting vitamin D, COVID went up. But in the summertime, when the sun was out, people got outside, COVID went down. So what are the governments telling you to do? They're telling you to stay inside. Dr. Fauci, stay inside. Don't go anywhere. That's what they're telling you to do. Here's what they're really saying. We want as many of you to get sick as possible. They are. They are. They want you to get sick. That's it. By the way, just by these headlines, and this was all around the United States, probably around the world, they are blaming Trump because of what Congress refused to do. Well, you're right. You know, that's just it. People say, why do you go to these? And it's like, well, it's on my news, it's on my my Facebook, and it's always there. So, you know, why wouldn't I? It just. Oh, I did find one other thing for one of them. They were actually saying we need to help those people in. The first time I've ever seen this. We need to help those restaurants that are losing their business, that have lost their business because of the explosion. So, I think that was Channel 4. I'm not sure. I think it was. Channel 2 or Channel 4. So, they don't care if they go ahead and support Sam Page in St. Louis area, close down your restaurants, to close down your bar, all that stuff. They don't care if that happens. If you lose your business and whatever money, it's the way it goes. You're saving a nursing home life. That's how I look at it. But all of a sudden they care about people, and they don't care about it in your own city. They care about it in Nashville. Yeah, those people need help, no doubt about it. But if I'm not mistaken, I don't even know if did they have they have mask mandates and the rest of it. But, you know, the thing is in California, they are destroying people's lives. Do you know that depression has gone up substantially? All that, you know. All right, I'll tell you, I got to take a break here. I'm going to play my theme song here. I know some people say, I've seen it all the time, Dave. Well, I don't care. Too bad. If you haven't seen it, but and I'm going to point it out, I do every time for a reason. for a reason, and that is that look at this and see. Let me see. Right there you go. Look at this and see where these kids are sitting down and they get up. I need every person watching this show to get up. Now, I know some of you people bored by this, but if I'm never bored by this song, I really am not, because I love the way the kids up. It's really cool. So anyway, we're going to do this. I got to take a break. I do. So let me get started here. And, almost there. And it's what happens when you do it by yourself here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Don't label us left or right. Our American. Not looking for a war, but we came to fight. Our American. Somebody's gotta stand up. Stand up. Somebody's gotta do what's right. We're rising 'cause we're fed up. Got our house in order and got yours in sight. I am American, that's what I am, that's what I think, and what I do. I am American, that's what I am, and I bleed red, white, and blue. And I bleed red, white, and blue. It's not about it's about what's right. Our American. Taking back our country, come and join the fight. Our American. Somebody's gotta stand up. Stand up. Somebody's gotta do what's right. We're rising 'cause we're fed up. Got our house in order and got yours in sight. I am American, that's what I am, that's what I think, and what I do. I am American, that's what I am, and I bleed red, white, and blue. And I bleed red, white, and blue. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I am American, that's what I am, that's what I say, and what I do. I am American, that's what I am, and I bleed red, white, and blue. And I bleed red, white, and blue. And I bleed red, white, and blue.
Alrighty, back here at Super Dave Show. By the way, you can call in. We do have it all ready to go if you like to call in. Again, tomorrow we're going to have my friend Paul Kurtman on, and it's going to be fun.
Maybe
I'll
all
tell
we
you-
really need
Whoop,
this
whoop,
year
whoop, whoop,
is a
don't
little
want
less
that.
to worry about. And
Whoop, don't want to do that. Okay. COVID can be bad, but if vaccine is like the flu vaccine, every 10th person will get the disease, and every 10th one then will get it bad. Probably more than that. It really is. Honestly, I look, somebody wants to get the vaccine, fine. I don't care. You know what? I trust the president. I have no desire to, but I trust the president, and frankly, that's where I go with it. Then again, I don't trust pharmaceutical companies, so that makes it a little more difficult, but I do trust the president. And by the way, the president, maybe this is something we can play. Relief bill causes distress. Statement from Trump. Impoundment Control Act explained. Line item veto. Okay, I'm just going to read this here. And these people, he wishes he had it. This is why you want it. But, these people make, you know what I find so interesting? These writers are the most arrogant jackasses on the planet. And they have nerve enough to go in there and start, going after Trump all the time and saying how stupid he is. And, not just that. The basement dwellers. They live in mommy's basement. A lot of them aren't even working. And they are smarter than you and I and everybody else. A long time ago when I was growing up, I always had these people. Yeah, that's right. Reminds me of one of my posts I just made. I would have these people who had no money trying to tell me what I need to do to be successful. And there's this thing called credibility. And I never understood why people actually believe them, because you looked at their home, they didn't have anything if they even had a home. These people that were so smart couldn't prove how smart they were because they lived like they lived horribly. I tell you what, when I was a teenager, I remember I met this gal, and she says, "Oh, would you come over to our house?" Now, I was a poor little runt. I've already talked about that before. And anyway, I think I was like 16, 17, whatever. And I go in her house, and there's a big old boy, and he's telling me how successful he is. I walked into one of the most disgusting houses I'd ever been in. The man worked at McDonnell Douglas, which is now purchased by Boeing. Their kitchen was atrocious. I mean, it was something that you would see on Dr. Phil or something. It was just disgusting. I mean, disgusting. And this guy is telling us how successful he is. That's not a guy I was going to listen to. Probably gave me a little more input than when I was single, that I made sure my place was spotless, because I never wanted to be like that. It was disgusting. And this is a guy trying to tell me how successful he is. So we got all these people in their basements telling you how wonderful. And it goes no different in this movement here. We got people in this movement who sit on their happy asses and don't do anything, and then they tell everybody else how to do it. No, you got to have, like the old, my son loves this, one of my favorite, I'm going to have to record that. There was and I'm going to bring this up, and you can laugh and say this is silly, but I'm going to bring it up. There was an episode of Happy Days. Bear with me, okay? Just bear with me. Because there's certain things in these shows that hit me, and it made sense. Anyway, they were these toughs were making Richie do things, Ron Howard do things, and he was acting silly, and so he went to Fonzie to see how to be tough, because Fonzie was the tough guy. So Fonzie shows him how to be tough, how to speak differently, and play the part. That's what he showed him, how to play the part. So fast forward, and he goes back to Arnold's, which was the local restaurant, of course, if you're not familiar with it. And the toughs are there, and they start something with them, and Richard starts acting tough and all this stuff. It's not working. So right before he's going to fight this guy, but he's like, wait a minute, this guy's supposed to run away because I'm acting tough, because they do with Fonzie. So right before they get ready to start, he says, hold on a minute. He goes over to Fonzie and he says, hey, Fonz. He goes, I'm doing everything like you told me and all the rest of it. He goes, what am I doing wrong? He goes, Richie, there's something I forgot to tell you. You have no reputation. You've never hit anybody. And I'll never forget when he says, that's not a good thing to leave out. My point is, you have to have reputation. Don't tell me how to make money when you don't even have a job, when you have no money, when you live in mommy's house. Don't tell me how to do that. Don't tell me Trump is an idiot when Trump has more money than most people on the planet. And you don't have squat to you. You got to borrow from mom and dad or whatever. You know, you're on Dr. Phil and you can't get out of your basement. You're 28 years old or 35 years old. Don't tell me you're smarter than everybody else. Don't tell, Carl's here. Carl was a marksman. Don't tell me you know all about guns and, but you watch it on TV or something like that. I go to the people that know what the hell they're talking about. That's who I go to. Trump to use Empowerment and Control Act to gut wasteful spending. He's smart. As he's in office more, you're right, Doug, he's learning more and more what you can and can't do. But, this is why I get on people so much, and it's like, get involved. Do something. Don't just be a fly in the wall, because it's not doing any good. It just isn't. Anyway, I'll go forward. All right. As President of the United States, it is my responsibility to protect the people of our country from the economic devastation and hardship that was caused by the China virus. He's one of the very few. You don't even see the establishment Republicans calling it the China virus. Do you know how many established Republicans have their money connected with China? Is there anybody in the real Republicans that got money in China? Let me proceed. I understand that many small businesses have been forced to close as a result of harsh actions by Democrat-run states. Many people are back to work, but my job is not done until everybody is back to work. You see, the difference between he and a Democrat is Democrats don't care if you go back to work. He continues that, fortunately, as a result of my work with Congress in passing the CARES Act earlier this year, we avoided another Great Depression. Under my leadership, Project Warp Speed has been a tremendous success. My administration and I developed a vaccine many years ahead of wildest expectations, and we are distributing these vaccines and others soon, coming to millions of people. And you know what? The Democrats who were telling it ain't going to happen. There's no way. We're not going to see anything for a long time. In fact, they're even now saying, we aren't even going to see this until summertime. Folks, it's here. I know people have already got the vaccine. As president, I have told Congress that I want far less wasteful spending and more money going to American people in the form of $2,000 checks per adult and $600 per child. As president, I'm demanding many rescissions under the Empowerment Control Act of 1974. The act provides that whenever the president determines that all or part of the budget authority will not be required to carry out the full objectives or scope of programs for which it is provided, or that such budget authority should be rescinded for fiscal policy or other policies, including termination of authorized projects or activities for which budget authority has been provided. The President shall transmit to both houses of Congress a special message describing the amount to be reserved, the relevant accounts, the reasons for the rescission, and the economic effects. He did what he had to. He did what he had to get this money to the people. I will sign the omnibus and COVID package with strong message that makes clear to Congress that wasteful items need to be removed. I will send back to Congress a red line version, item by item, accompanied by the formal rescission request to Congress insisting that those funds be removed. Hey, those are our representatives that we need to get in touch with. We need to tell them, do not Do not let this get by you. Don't be sending that money. And by the way, when this is all over, we are going to have a list of offices that we are going to tell you as real Republicans, because we're going to do the research, we're going to put it out there. We're going to have a hit list. Yes, we're going to have a hit list. And I would pray to you, if you're a Republican, the more as we grow, that hit list is going to scare the hell out of you, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that the money coming to us helps these people get elected and kicks your ass. We are sick to death of establishment politicians like Ann Wagner, Blaine Luetkemeyer, and so many, because you've done nothing. You know, the only reason you got elected is because you got R next to their name, but we're going to make sure we get RRs elected. It's going to have an R next to their name, but we're going to say it's a real Republican. You know, if the people that are joining us, the reps that are joining us, I'm glad you liked it. The people that are joining us, the real good reps, are going to be there, and they're going to be part of this, because you know what? They don't want these people around them. This is nothing personal. You know, look, I can tell you right now, there's a lot of people in office. We can call him nice. I know of he's a nice guy. Totally misguided now. He's just gone off the deep end. All of a sudden, and this is what happens to so many of them. Hey, the media is coming to talk to me. Hey, I'm on television. I'm a star. I'm this. Oh, yes, I'm important now because the guys in charge like me. If that gets to them, and it doesn't get to everybody. You know, when I met Jim Neely, I will tell you right now, one of the nicest, down-to-earth people I ever met in my life. A real person. And you know what? Here's something for you. And every rep that I know has been honest enough to admit, I shouldn't say every good rep that I know has been honest enough to admit that during their early years, and sometimes it gets them, they make a vote and they screwed up. They'll be the first to tell you, yeah, I did that vote and I'm totally misunderstood. I'm mad at myself. And they are mad at themselves. And they've done it. And sometimes they had to do it just for the fact that they wanted to get a bill passed because it was so much more important. And they didn't have to sell their soul, but they had to sell part of it. Because they realized they had to get something more important through, so they had to go ahead and make a deal with another state rep. I don't have as much issue with that. I really don't. I understand why they do it. You know, there's certain legislation's got to get through. Our president right there, and I'll go back to reading what he said. Our president right there, he's signing something. This sucks. I have to sign this piece of crap. Let's do everything we can to make sure we can stop it. So in regards to what Sherry said, she goes, I love a hit list. That's what it's going to be. These are the Republicans we want out of there. And I'm telling you, we are not only, and if everybody gets involved, we got plenty of time right now. I want to explain to you how quickly this can work. We have a lot of Republicans out there that have money. But they don't want to give it to a candidate. They don't want to give it to they certainly don't want to give it to a Republican Party because they realize what's going on. Because the Republican Party is not for us, not the current Republican Party. But I go back to what I said. If you have so much taken out, that you send whatever you want to do every month to this, and people do it all the time, that in no time we could have a lot of money to do a lot of stuff, to change the school systems, to get people there who are going to say, no, we're not gonna pass this silly crap so our kids are stuck with this garbage you're calling learning. I mean, it's ridiculous. We want people to run, and we can't. And there's a lot of people out there, they just don't have the money. You know what? There's one thing. By the way, Jason, I like Shane. He's not a bad guy. He signed the mail-in voting law. What the hell is he thinking? There's just so much you can do. There really isn't. Jason's a gentleman that Are you going to run when he terms out, I guess? Jason is a real Republican. And what we want to do, and look, we're just not going to do it and say that's it. We're going to help train these people who are new. And I guarantee you, if you're going to run for office and you've never really done it, or you think you have all the answers, none of us have the answers, but there's some basics. If you don't learn, you will get your royal asses kicked. I guarantee you, you'll get it kicked all over the place. There's certain things, there's certain no-nos you don't do. You learned yours, didn't you, Jason? Just certain things that you think you got it. And you know what the biggest lesson was, honestly? I know what it is for Jason. All these people made promises they vote for him, and they didn't even bother to show up. Now, let me explain to you why, Jason, they didn't show up. Because they're not really involved. Why would they get involved with the Republican Party when they don't know anything? Well, the only thing the Republican Party wants from them is their money and their vote, and that's it. And they're voting totally ridiculous. That's why they're going, who cares? They're all, there's one thing I hate more than anything. They're all alike. They're not all alike. And when I hear that, I hear somebody that just doesn't get it. Jason has run for office. And now this would really irritate some Republicans. I give Democrats more credit for running for office than I do Republicans who sit on the sidelines with their hands in their pocket doing nothing. I give Democrats more credit for getting out there doing things when Republicans sit by with their hands in their pocket doing nothing. It's about what you do. It's not about what you believe, because it's really nothing if you believe it and you don't follow through. So when we get this set up, and I hope to get it done, I'll talk to my people and see. My people, listen to me. I'll talk to the people involved, in charge. But we will have it there, and you'll be able to do that. Because, honestly, we have a year. We have a year before things really start picking up. And we could have millions of dollars in there now, and people going, well, I'm not giving that much. When you have as many people involved as we want, we're going to make it a requirement. Now, we're not going to say you have to do it, but a requirement to have any credibility that you better put your money where your mouth is. I'm sick to death of people having money for everything stupid, but when it comes to something that's good for their country and good for the community and good for their kids and good for everything, and they don't have any money, I don't want to hear them. You don't have my respect. I know people who don't have a lot of money. You know what? There's if I can remember this tomorrow when Paul comes on, he would tell me stories. There were certain people on Social Security, didn't have a lot of money. You're right, and I'll get to that in a second here. And they would still send him $10 a month. They didn't have a lot of money, but they knew he was a guy that needed to be there. Send him $10 a month. And that's exactly, if we can get people to send $10 a month who don't even have a real income, who are barely making it, and I'm not saying they should do it. I'm saying that's what they did because that made them feel good. That made them feel like they were doing something. They were doing something. And Sherry, you're right. You can't fail if you don't do anything. You fail. In fact, you know what? You fail when you don't. There's one of them up there behind me, the one with Einstein. And when it comes, I'll try to look at it as I love that one because basically what it says is if you're sitting on the sidelines doing nothing, you're the reason why we live in a dangerous world because you're sitting by watching it happen. You are. Well, you know what? I'm going to disagree with you there. I think on the Democrat side, you might be right. On the Republican side, I think it's a lot of people who know. They do know this. that Republicans don't pay attention. Look, I'll tell you right now, when we get this totally going and we go out and talk to people, we're just not going to go there and say, send us your money. We're going to go there and say, we want involvement. Are you happy? You know, we'll even send, in fact, one of the things we could do is send out mailers, say, are you happy with our schools? And show them where they can actually get involved, because you think the Democrat and Republican parties do that? Hell no. They've got the people they want. They don't want good people to know how to get involved. We do. Because we want good people. We want good people, and we're going to twist their arm to make sure that they realize that they're important to the success of their future, of our country. I really believe, I really believe that we have the people to do it. We just have to get them encouraged to do it. That's all. Sending a little bit of money, and the reason I say every month, you don't have to. That's not the point. Some months you don't have it. I get it. But you know what? Most people do. And you know, you don't even miss it. But you know what you do miss? Don't you wish that these people that have that R in their next name, that are lying, that are supporting the left, who are saying Trump needs to go, don't you wish you had a voice with them? You know, when we had all this stuff going on, do you see the Republican Party running any ads whatsoever? You see Trump. Do you see the Republican Party running any ads anywhere? Defending our president, defending you? How much money did you give to a candidate last time? Do you hear them say anything? No, they're out there saying, well, we got to go forward. Biden's the president. We're done. Okay, I'm going to continue with this because I stopped. This is President Trump on the what he said about all this stuff. Yeah. I am signing this bill to restore unemployment benefits, stop evictions, provide rental assistance, add money for PPP, return our airline workers back to work, add substantially more money for vaccine distribution, and much more. It's to the people. He's not worried about the Kennedy Center. He's not worried about gender studies in Pakistan. He's worried about the people who have been impacted. I wish in there he said, and if you really don't need it, then you need to either say, I don't want it, or give it to somebody else. On Monday, the House will vote to increase payments to individuals, $600 to $2,000. Therefore, a family of four will receive $5,200. Additionally, Congress has promised that Section 230, which so unfairly benefits big tech at the expense of the American people, will be reviewed and either be terminated or substantially reformed. Likewise, the House and Senate have agreed to focus strongly on the very substantial voter fraud which took place on November 3rd. We know the House doesn't want to. Some, not many. You know how many Republicans don't want to even go there? They don't. Making sure wealthy taxpayers as well as wealthy tax dodgers like President Trump pay what they owe still help close our nation's $381 billion annual net tax gap. This is the Dems. If the president had not done something right and Obama was president, don't you think they would have gone after him? You know, it's scary. I mean, it really is, but it's scary. And this is why, because if we had the money to spend the money in the right places and negotiate and do the things that need to be done and spend it, we'll do something smartly, which is something they don't do. You know what they do a lot of these races? In the primary, first of all, you know, and a lot of you people know this from listening to the show, the Republican Party does not want you to show up at the primaries. In fact, they already have their guy in place. They make sure he gets the most media. They make sure he gets the most tube, you get to see him on TV, all that stuff. That's what they do. That's what they do with Josh Hawley. This is why with Josh Hawley, I told people, because they were like, hey, he looks like he's really doing it. And I've said that. I go, he looks like he is. But we can't guarantee it until we watch after the theater is over to see how they vote. I mean, it's really sad. It really is. I saw Pat Toomey talk earlier. What a clown. Pat Toomey, I think, is of North Dakota, I believe it is. He's a loser. He's another establishment guy. And I think the president should accept the outcome of the election. He had every right to challenge these votes. He had every right to recounts and to litigate. He had done all these things in my state of, Pennsylvania, I'm sorry. He's drawn some conservative judges who've dismissed these cases for lack of, and this is what's really sad. You know why Roberts said he doesn't want to bring it to the Supreme Court? He's afraid of the violence that'll happen because of it. You don't think that violence isn't on purpose? Believe me, it is. It's to scare people. So Pat Toomey is a joke. He's part of the problem. He's part of the establishment. He's part of the Democrats. Just because that damn R next to his name, that isn't cutting it. It's just so sad. Oh my God. I'm telling you what. Body armored police raid California couple's hair salon who refused to close under COVID-19 lockdown. A hair salon was raided by police clad in body armor last week after ignoring local COVID-19 lockdown orders. I'm sorry, but if you're a police officer and you're involved in this, you should be shamed. No doubt about it. You should be shamed. There's not a person out there. I'm sorry. As a former cop, I find it disgusting. And I know I've got a couple cops that are my Facebook friends that don't quite agree with it. Too bad. That's my opinion. You don't like it? Unfriend me. I really don't care. I'm serious about that. Unfriend me. Because, yes, you're giving orders. But as there was a gentleman the other day, I watched it. He's a sheriff from somewhere, black sheriff from somewhere. And he said, not only am I not going to do this stuff, I'm not going to do any of these lockdown orders. I'm not going to be there for those people. Oh, wait, no. He was talking about Antifa and the rest of them. He was there with his deputies, and he said, not only am I telling you to stay away from our county, but if you come here and try to start trouble, I will deputize gun-carrying Americans, and they'll be part of this. And they can do that. I've watched enough Westerns to know that. I couldn't pass it up. Yeah, this salon. I'm sorry. I got to look at this real quick. This makes me disgusted. It really does. I'm gonna bring up this report. It disgusts me. It really does. I can't believe for the life of me that we have police officers doing this stuff. Let me bring it up here real quick. This is because we have people in charge. Are you ready for this?
It happened without warning Wednesday afternoon.
Do any of you have a soul?
Police officers entering the Pomp Salon in North Stockton's upscale Lincoln Center.
About 5 armed state police officers burst into our salon shouting, "Drop everything you're doing, stop, you're being shut down."
The video was recorded by salon co-owner Vicki Kirk. She says the officers spent an hour inside questioning why the 7-year-old salon with 40 stylists was open in the midst of COVID stay-at-home orders.
Do you guys know how much unemployment is for hairdressers?
Defiant stylists challenging police officers with their own questions.
It was one of the worst days of my life. to have that scene happen in our salon when we're only trying to work.
The state's Department of Consumer Affairs Investigation Division issued the salon 3 misdemeanor citations. Despite that, Pomp's salon remained open once the officers left. Dino Ballin is the husband of Kirk and co-owner.
Why does a hair salon have to close but Target can stay open and Walmart can stay open? Where's the connection? And what's the specific infection rate that you're attributing to these salons?
When shutdown orders happened during the summer, Ballin went on vacation, but then cut it short when stylists texted him pleading with him to reopen because they were broke. Statewide, since July 1st, California's Board of Barbering and Cosmetology has cited just 2 businesses, Pomp's Salon and Primo's Barbershop in Vacaville. When we asked the Department of Consumer Affairs, which oversees the board, why they were citing Pomp, they told us in part the board has conducted approximately 14,000 inspections at licensed establishments since the beginning of the pandemic. Any establishment that doesn't comply with the public health orders that have been put in place to slow the spread of COVID-19 may be subject to disciplinary action, end quote. They also said it's up to the local district attorney's office to pursue these misdemeanor citations. When we contacted the San Joaquin County DA's office, they told us in part, as the state orchestrated this raid, the San Joaquin County District Attorney's Office will not be involved in filing any charges and asks that all matters be referred to the state attorney general.
We just want to be able to keep our homes. We just want to feed our families.
We live in America. Isn't that sad? That just makes me crazy. And by the way, this is why it bothers me with the police officers. And because I used to be one.
For unemployment for the first time.
If you know nobody's going to do anything, this is just a show of government. That's all it really is. It's so ridiculous. It's like, well, we're going to go ahead and do this, but the district attorney's not going to do anything. And I'm glad they're not doing anything. But why do you walk in there with guns and body armor? Give me a freaking break. You make me sick to my stomach. As a police officer, that is embarrassing to me. You are an embarrassment to that uniform. You really are. You are carrying out the Nazi orders of the Nazis in charge. You look at your superior and say, you know what? I got 20 years into this, but you are making a horrible decision, and I'm not going to be part of it. If you want to fire me, suspend me, do what the hell you got to. If more police officers would do that, we wouldn't have this damn problem. We don't even have enough people who will stand up. What, do we have a bunch of pussies now in the police department that won't stand up to their own commanders? And by the way, the commanders won't do it. Yeah, the people in charge don't do this stuff. The people in charge demand somebody else, and they find somebody and they go, well, you got to follow orders. I swore the Constitution before I swore to follow orders, that's for sure. You're right. America does not mean freedom anymore. It's embarrassing. I never thought I'd say it's embarrassing to be an American. On January 6th, if you want to go, I want to make sure you contact us. By the way, we're not going to be part of the caravan because we're going to, but there's a caravan that is leaving leaving California. And it's leaving a couple days early. I don't know what they're doing exactly, but it's going across the country and pick up more and more and more and more. And you are going to see the longest. It's really awesome. I hope to be somewhere where I can. I hope somebody takes video of it. I'm sure somebody will. We'll get it. But we will play that on here. This is going to be the most awesome thing we've ever seen. We are going to see people do it. We're going to see people get involved. We are not violent, but I'll tell you what, this is why we need you wusses to grow a couple, because, the last thing I want to see is anything, in D.C., because there's going to be Antifa there. Don't get nervous about it, because let me tell you something about real life in case you're worried. Number one, the one thing I learned about fear, it is true. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. I was telling a friend of mine the other day, I said, if you see Antifa people or something like that, you don't walk in the middle of them. You don't walk in between them. If you're going to be stupid, then things are going to happen. Stick together. Be smart. if there's a situation where you're nervous about being involved with that, find a police officer. Police officer says, well, nothing we can do. I remember seeing the video of these people. The police said nothing we can do, so they start walking. Hang with the police for a while. Just hang with them, whatever. But do not walk in the middle of these Antifa people unless you got a lot of people with them. I mean, a lot of people. Because, they can do whatever they want. But there's one thing about numbers I'll tell you right now. Carl, I know you'll back me up on this. If there's 1,000 of us and 50 of them, they don't have the guts. They're a bunch of cowards. They don't have the guts anything. They're going to try to intimidate you, whatever. But don't even go to it. Just look at them and laugh, and you're a bunch of losers. In fact, I'll tell you right now, I will have my bullhorn with me, and I have no problem calling them cowards. No, I'm not trying to bring them that way, but if there's thousands of people around me, let me tell you something. They're not going to do a damn thing. They're not. But the point is that yes, I know you should ignore them to some extent, but they are cowards. I'm not going to spend my time doing it. My point is that, and I'm not trying to get trouble to go, but the point is that if they start, then we have to do something. Carl, I'm glad you said, yes, the police are more pussies than ever before. Pussies that take orders from elected officials that make up law are better than police that follow the Constitution. If there's a cop out there that I'm serious about this, if you know of any police officer that follows orders like this, I don't even care. Even that stupid thing when they showed up and did that stuff, don't do it. I will have your ass in a heartbeat on this show. I want to know who the hell you are. Well, you know what, Doug? There's no doubt about it. Look, we got voter fraud in our own county. We know that. There's voter fraud by Republicans. See, this is the one that everybody has to understand. Voter fraud is not just about Democrats. Now, the majority of it is about Democrats. But if you don't think Pat Toomey, Mitt Romney, and so many of these loser Mitch McConnell, if you don't think they had something to do with it, you're wrong. You're wrong. Conservative California friends think smartmatic machines elected and keep Democrats in office. They think conservative blacks and legal Hispanics actually flip California red. I agree with you. But when the machines, you know what? This is something, I got to bring his name up. I brought this up to my former state representative, Dan Shaw, the one that wrote the mail-in voting law. I said, we need to have something to where we need to introduce something to where we can have we can have a part of government that goes in and counts. All they do is, after each election, is go in and make sure the election is honest. Folks, that's not hard to do. But loser, weak, established Republicans want nothing to do with that. Established Republicans are not interested in honest elections. That's why we started the Real Republicans, because we know that so many of the established Republicans are not honest. Just because they got that R next to their name, don't stop thinking they're honest. They've sold their souls. That's what they've done. Exactly. If you don't think voter fraud is in our country, explain Waller. Exactly. I'll even, it just, and you know what? Here's something I'm going to explain to you too. In most areas, this happens all the time. You will find the establishment, they will find their kind of guy to run as county executive. Whatever it is, they'll find their kind of person to run as it. That's what they'll do. Yeah. And what they'll do is they'll hang with them, and they'll make sure other people are told not to get in. This happens all the time. You don't want to get in. We want to make sure. In fact, when we get a real Republican in some of these places to get rid of Shaw and some of these other people, I guarantee you, this is what they'll do. I know how they work. they're going to go, they're just a far-right group. This is what they'll do. A far-right group. They're like Nazis. Oh, yeah, they're going to name it. That's the Republican Party that you were a part of, we were all part of for years, is going to retaliate against us. I'm ready for it. I don't really care. I know how they operate. Doesn't make a difference. But when we get more and more good, honest Republicans in it and Republican legislators, when we get them in, and guess what's going to happen? All of a sudden, it's going to be a totally different story. Because we're going to find these Republicans are going to go, wait a minute. These people lied to us before. That's it. That's where our hit list comes in, Sherry. That's exactly what it does. You know, in our county, we're going to have a hit list, no doubt about it. These are the people that lie and say they're Republicans. These are the ones that they represent lobbyists. They don't represent you. These are the ones that are saying that aren't out there fighting. Where is Ann Wagner? Where is Blaine Luetkemeyer? Where are these people voting against this stupidity? Where are they standing up for our president? Where are they? You know, somebody said, why aren't they riding with us? Why aren't they going to meet us there and say, we're with you? If your congressman isn't out there with us, at least talking to us, then those are the bad ones. And guess what? They're going to be hiding in their offices. I'm wondering, I'll bet you any kind of money, they find some lousy reason that they're going to say, well, the legislature is closed right now, or it's you can't have any people come in unless you got a mask on. They'll come up with some kind of excuse because the last thing they want to see. Think of yourself as an employee, and you've screwed up royally. And the boss calls you into his office and says, hey, Doug, we need to talk. And you know you screwed up. You know your time is limited. You know you better have some fast answers. These people work for us, my friends. That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to go ahead and they're honestly just going to go ahead and say, hey, wait a minute. We're not, I'm just speechless right now because these people don't care about the voters. They only care about the lobbyists and themselves and the rest of it. That's it. They don't represent us. Ann Wagner does not represent her constituents. And here's a little key to understanding it. Just because your state rep or congressman did something for you once, that's buying votes. Oh, yes, I know they may have helped you with something, but that's their job, by the way, to help you. But if they are voting against the president, if they're voting for all kinds of garbage to go to Planned Parenthood, to kill babies, and if they're voting for all this stuff and you're giving it a pass because you don't know what the hell they voted for, and by the way, this is something we will have in Real Republicans as time goes on. We're going to have some summaries of these people, of why they're on the hit list. Why are they there? Why do we want to replace them? Now, I guarantee you in 2 years, I think Ann Wagner probably knows her time's up because she was lucky to escape by this time. But in 2 years, oh, by the way, she rode Trump's coattails too. Where is she? Where's all these people that rode his coattails to get to win? Where are they now? Nowhere to be found. You know why? Because they weren't thinking about the country. They weren't thinking about you. They were thinking about them. You know, I talked to a good friend of mine who's an attorney, and I joked with him about I said, yeah, I was telling my viewers one time about lawyers. Hey, you're in the middle of a lawsuit, and they don't want to pay you as much. No, let's not even do law. Let's do a divorce. That's a good one. Your lawyer goes and talks to the other lawyer. You don't know what they're talking about, but they come back to you and tell you what they were talking about. And both of them will go back to their person. to their clients. And they say, hey, have we got a deal? But it's always for me because they know when they get the deals, they get the most. Especially when it comes to civil suits. Oh, my goodness gracious. Yeah, we'll give you... I'm in the middle one, so I know. None of your business. So many people know it doesn't make a difference. Well, you know what? I think people... Look, we know already. We know already that the election was rigged. We know that. There's more voter fraud you know what to do with. And when these so-called representatives... You know what? Let's put together a list. And we will pass it out to as many people as we can. That if you are going to Washington, D.C., these are the people that we need to go visit. We need to show Washington, D.C. that the millions of people are there. Always remember something. There's 100 senators and 435 House representatives. That's 535 people. I anticipate we're going to have a couple million people there. We're going to have 1 million, no doubt about it. I have no doubt about it. I think it's going to be the largest crowd ever. We outnumber them big time. Now, I don't know about you. Yes, they have Capitol Police and all that stuff. They don't have enough Capitol Police. Honestly, if not that we're going to do this, but if we said we've had enough, and we may, you never know what's going to happen. If we've had enough, and people start going to the Capitol, and they just start going through the doors, there's millions of people trying to get through the door, do you think 100 cops are going to stop them? There's no way. You may become a mob, but I'll tell you one thing. There's a lot of pissed off women. And I'll tell you what. Oh, here. We don't have enough males anymore, at least not enough younger males. Here's what we'll have. This is why, you know what? I'm going to warn every piece of crap. I almost said something else. Every piece of crap congressman and senators there. We're going to have more pissed off women. That should scare the hell out of every one of them. And we're going to have more old farts like us that are on Social Security that we don't give a damn anymore because as we all know, you get to a point in your life you go, I don't care. I got 65 years in, whatever. I'm going for the gusto. I really don't care. You got more of us going there than you've ever had before. And we're not violent people, but you are making us violent. Not that we're going to go in and start doing anything stupid, but you know what? Walking into the place that we own, because that's exactly what it is. Walk into the place that we own is a possibility. And you, ladies and gentlemen, you may be going, Dave, isn't that going over the top? I have the easiest answer in the world for you. What would our president say? Exactly. Don't piss old people off, and women like everybody to play fair. Yeah, women don't. I'm gonna tell you right now. I told you I see more women standing up than men. Males. They're not men if they don't stand up. President Trump would be behind us because you know why? Because he knows we're not violent. Think about this. If you have 1 million people out there, not that 1 million people are going to fit in a building, but if you got 1 million people out there and you got, say, 200 Capitol Police there, they don't have a fighting chance. And they're not going to shoot you. They're not going to shoot you. We're going in. And it's not being violent. Hey, we own this damn place. We're going in and we're going to do what it takes. Look, I'm not trying to start trouble. I'm really not. But you know something? When we go there, we're going to have an attitude, and we know, you know what? Somebody is trying to steal this country from us. If our founding fathers can stand up to the British and take over. This really and truly is about getting our country back. Getting our country back from the damn crooks that has stolen it from us, because that's exactly what it is. Every damn person like Toomey, all these other people, we're going to put down a list of these losers, and we're going to say, we're after your asses. I want them to cower in their offices. I'm serious about this. Look, I'm not a violent person. Next thing you know, I'm going to Secret Service. What are you doing here? I'm fighting for my country. Why don't you join us? Because I really don't give a damn. You know, there's something like, you know, and Jerry, you're right. When you get older, you really don't give a damn. I really don't give a damn. I will do whatever it takes to get my country back. How many people out there watching this show right now? How many people out there watching the show right now is saying, I'm going to do everything it takes to get our country back? I don't want my country stolen. I don't. I get pissed off when people lie and cheat and do everything they can, and then these people are threatened. Hey, Supreme Court, you want to be concerned about something? Maybe it's time to take all your asses down. We stood behind you. It's time you stand up for us. We'll protect you if you do your job. You're right. There's a time to fight. If this isn't it, I don't know what it is. That's exactly how I feel. And if you let your passion, your heart take over and go there and say, I'm done. And you know what? If in Jefferson County or the area here, Jefferson County, Perry, and the rest of us, if we show up, we'll lead the way and say, we're coming in. This is our house. We're not going to let our country be stolen by a bunch of crooks. That's exactly what it should be. I could use the rest of the pen of voice. Want to learn how to knit. They can't put us all in jail, and they can't put us in jail for getting our country back. They can't do it. I'm ready to lead the charge. I really am. I've never been more pissed off at politicians in my life. Never. I'm sure after this is over, you know, I'm going to be put on the Secret Service list. Oh, he's threatening. We're not threatening to harm anybody. We're threatening to retake our country. And the last thing, and I'm telling you what, I'm dead serious about this. Most of the people on this bus and the cars that are going have had enough. And most of the people going are probably getting more geared up for it, and the more mad you get. And that's why Trump wanted us there. And this is the greatest thing we've ever done since the revolution, is retake our country, because right now they're trying to give it to the Chinese. Think of it that way. They are doing their best to give our country to the Chinese. And if that's what you want, and you may think I'm crazy, I really don't care. But you think about it. The Bidens, they're with the Chinese. Mitch McConnell, they're with the Chinese. There's so many people, established Republicans, working with the Chinese. Our country has been fought hard by a guy named Donald J. Trump. I've never seen a greater patriot in my life. And I'm willing to be the sergeant, the general, whatever it takes to make sure we get our country back. Not for the glamour. I'm there to be there because I love my country. And I don't want our country to be ripped off by a bunch of thieves. I don't want us to wear masks the rest of our life. Because I guarantee you, if we allow this theft to happen, and we know it's a theft, well, I guess, yeah, I'm in good company. Because I know a lot of people agree with me. And I know more and more. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to lately are just so mad. They just don't want to go there. They want to go there with a vengeance. And as we get closer and closer, I don't want to put up with anything. I just want to go there. I want to reclaim our country. I want to have the greatest celebration ever in the history of our country. of reclaiming our country. You know, let's call it reclaiming. Let's come up with a word for it, what we can do it. Oh, he's next, believe me. Governor Parson, you know what? That has everything to do with it, too. You know what? This is what we could do, too. In Real Republicans, we can reclaim a lot of stuff. We can go back and say, Governor Parson, you're a piece of crap joke. You are nothing more than a weak, established Republican. We're gonna have a recall and take your butt back and have a real Republican in office. You know what? When I say real Republican, I want you to go by the video I have in the middle of it. It's not about left or right. It really isn't, because right and left, it divides people. We are the real Republican is a word for people I consider the greatest patriots on the planet, who don't want things from the government except to be left alone. Yes, we need some government. I get it. That's what we want. We want our country back. That's what I want. So, all right, I'm running out of gas. I gotta go. I've gone overboard, not overboard, but I'm overtime. That's okay. I'll be back tomorrow. If I got too energetic here, I'm not apologizing. Just don't worry about it. So, all right, everybody. Tomorrow we'll have my friend Paul Kirkman. I think you'd be delighted with him. One of the greatest patriots, young people in my life. He's the kind of person. And by the way, he joined Republicans. Some others did too. And I want to, I will be reporting to you which legislators in our states, anywhere, who are joining Republicans, because to me, this is not just a group just to get there and have fun. This is a group of people who are going to get it done. And this is something Paul will help you with, and I'm going to have others on here. They will tell you right now, the more people behind them, the better. Because when they were in office, Republican Party weren't there to help them. Hell no. They already had the agenda done. That was it. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Let me see. I got everything ready. And I will have my guest on tomorrow. See you in the morning. Tell everybody there's going to be a great guest tomorrow. So, all right, thanks for listening, and I will see you tomorrow.
You can't quit.
That's why I get fired.
You can't fire him.
Why not?
He quit.
Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
German? Forget it, he's rolling.
It ain't over now. Because when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Who's with me? Let's go! Come on!
Thanks. I needed that.